Why do you think grappling is getting so popular so fast? Because it's accessible to everyone, no matter how old you are. If someone's 40 years old and wants to try jiu-jitsu, to roll and test themselves, they can go for it. They'll always have a place on the mat and find people their own age and skill level. It's really that simple. Grappling doesn't have as high a barrier of entry as, let's say, hockey or some other sports. Do you think that's an advantage for its growth? Absolutely. Let's think about what you need for a grappling session. You can come in shorts and a t-shirt that you usually wear at home, so you don't need to buy extra gear or anything. I think that's a huge part of it, that everything you need is quite affordable. So yeah, grappling's about simplicity and affordability. Dear athletes, parents, and coaching staff, welcome to the DCC Championship. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for choosing us. We'll always do our best to make sure your competitions are fair and you feel as comfortable as possible.
Best to get Mako and grind the cinnamon. Manhattan warmongers, you can find the villain in satin. Gongas, the van screeches, the old man preaches about the gold sand beaches. The cold hand reaches for the old tan Elises.
Tell us, why did you switch from freestyle wrestling to grappling? What exactly led you into it? Well, I'm not really sure. I think the team is great here. Everyone's really friendly. And in freestyle wrestling, we didn't really get along. So many guys were rude to each other because of that. Could you talk about what youth grappling looks like in Dagestan these days? Do you think times have changed? How different are the conditions since you and the guys started? What do we have now? I train kids from around 6 years old up to 15. About 3 years ago, we'd probably cap at around 50 kids in a group. Now in the summer, it's a bit different, but we usually consistently have around 100 people. On average, it's definitely from 80 to 90. There are lots of commercial tournaments now. They even host them for kids as young as 5 or 6. It's a huge difference, and that's really helping the sport grow, too. The kids love it. They enjoy this sport because there's a lot of technical work. It's not only about the physical part. I'd like to highlight the huge administrative effort and the creation of the Student Grappling League. How did you manage it, and what's the main goal behind it? Our main goal is to help kids live a healthy lifestyle. Of course, not everyone will become a champion, but we want them to learn discipline, respect for elders and peers and stuff. It's about raising them right. It seems that besides training, your team pays great attention to moral education, especially in the kids' grappling groups. Tell us more about that. Is that so, and what place does it have in your work? Is it a huge part? Well, moral upbringing, in my opinion, is even more important than the training itself, than the things we teach. I'll tell you why. Because if an athlete is physically strong but has no morals, he would do even more harm, knowing nobody could do anything to him as strong as he is. Without that moral compass, you could say he's useless to society, to all of us, to the people. You were one of the first to compete against top-level guys and put up a real fight. Tell me, what do you think our athletes are missing? And what do their athletes have that leads to victory and eventually dominance in this sport? They're always competing in America. They get to compete every week. They have prestigious grappling competitions every week, every 2 weeks. They have chances to really open up and show what they can do. And I think that's exactly what our athletes are missing. Some high-level grappling competitions, good tournaments. Also, it's hard for us to get to America, and the main events are held in America. That's what's holding our growth back a little. If we could travel more often, if there were no problems with visas and sanctions, I think we'd make a name for ourselves in a short while. You put your soul into organizing these awesome tournaments. We've talked to some participants and viewers, and they all said they were very excited. They all say it's the best tournament held here in Dagestan. We're holding this tournament for the 9th time in a row now. We always aim to keep the standard high, so the athletes feel comfortable and can perform at their best. We want to provide a proper professional level platform with payouts and prize money. So it's not just about winning a medal, but there's something more to it. Right now, due to some funding limitations, we bring in athletes from the CIS countries instead of ones from far abroad. This way, it's not just Russian competitors battling with each other. The guys at least get to challenge themselves against foreign athletes too, even if they're from nearby countries. Awesome prize fund, and the medals are super cool. Show us the belt, please. This is the champion's belt that will go to the winner of our International Grand Prix in the 71 kilogram division. It's quite weighty and got a really unique design. Awesome belt. An awesome gift for the Grand Prix winner. It would be a great memory. Yes, besides the belt, they also get some cash. Yeah, 100,000 rubles is not that much, but it's still nice. I think it'll at least help cover their training costs. Since we moved on to the topic of prize money and the commercial side of sports, what's your take on cash prizes in grappling? Are they necessary? Is it right that athletes are motivated by money rather than self-fulfillment? It really determines the way an athlete performs, and his career depends on that. Because these days, as unfortunate as it is, money probably plays the biggest role in the sport. Because if you have money, you can travel to competitions, you can go abroad, recover properly, eat right, buy supplements, and so on. And that's why I believe without solid financial grounding, it's impossible to organize a high-level competitive tournament. Top athletes simply won't come if there's no good prize money. The champion in the 66 kilogram weight division,
Marat Kurbanov!
I'd like to thank Marat Kurbanov for organizing such a fantastic event for athletes like us. It gives us a chance to prove ourselves at such a high level in large-scale tournament. Special thanks to the coaching staff from Universal Fighters to all of them and the All Leon team for backing and helping young prospects. And I'm very grateful to my parents for always supporting me in everything. Thank you, everyone. Could you tell us a bit more about the competitors? First of all, there's Gairbeg Ibragimov. He's the one who, after a long and hard journey, finally qualified for the ADCC World Championship. I won't just be watching him, I'll be rooting for him with all my heart. We also have Marat Kurbanov, a multiple world time champion and a master of sports international class. Then there's a young and very promising guy, Salahuddin. You'll see him today, along with a few other tough competitors who are really strong. Anyway, this Grand Prix is going to be very interesting. For me as a spectator as well. The winner and the one advancing to the finals is
Gairbeg Ibragimov!
Tomorrow's your final match, so let me ask you, what does this tournament mean to you after all? I assume this is like a warm-up before ADCC. Yeah, exactly. I competed in one of the qualifying tournaments for the Grand Prix. There was a long break between competitions, so I decided to get some matches in. And since heel hooks are allowed here, I see it as a real test for me, as most of the time I only compete under rules where they're not permitted. So this is a part of my preparation for the main event. Do you know the opponents you'll be facing? Does anyone in particular stand out to you? I guess I know them all. I've grappled with some of them before. These guys are from the new generation and might catch you off guard. I'll just try to find the right approach against them. Tell us, are you planning to compete in any other tournaments besides this one before ADCC? What are your overall plans to prepare for this year's main championship? Most likely I'll compete at the Russian Nationals, and after that, if things work out, I'd like to go to America and prepare there. It's still unclear how it will all turn out, but for now the plan is to go to the USA a bit earlier and also to compete here at the Nationals. Is there anyone from the B team top guys who you would really want to work with? Anyone like that? Joseph Chen. I've already had 2 training camps with him. His grappling skills are outstanding. I've learned a lot from him. He has a different, so to say, foreign style, and that helped me to figure out some keys to their game. So, can we expect some new heel hook game from you? Do you want to try something new at this tournament, or are you just looking to warm up without doing anything experimental? Not sure. There are guys who specialize in the bottom game, so it's a chance to test some leg attacks. At the same time, I don't see much point in working on anything new just 2 to 3 months before the tournament, but I'll definitely test some things, tricks, and maybe some tactical aspects.
Настроим спортсменов на зрелищную схватку. Давайте пошумим!
And the champion of both the weight division and the Grand Prix, to your applause, is Dear friends, the DDC tournament has just ended, with Gairbeg Ibragimov taking the Grand Prix victory. We're here now with Czar. Czar, congratulations on your students' win. Please, give us a quick review. How was it? There were some really intense, heart-stopping matches. We were on the edge of our seats. Emotions were running high. How were you feeling? Yeah, I was on edge too. Every match till the end was a total nail-biter, except maybe for the first one. Both the second and the third matches were hard, especially the second one. Of course, we expected it would be a tough match against Alil in the second round, but what really impressed me today is his strategy. I know my student quite well, though. But the grappling IQ Gairbeg showed in the final seconds of the match was fantastic. His decision-making was... like, right before my eyes, he changed his plan at the very last moment and started just pushing the opponent out. And he did push him. I'm still replaying it in my head. Throughout his entire career, from what I've seen, Gairbeg very rarely has easy and ordinary matches. So tell me, is there some secret to his mindset? How do you manage to push through all that? There's never a moment where he slacks off, holds back, or takes it easy, neither in training nor in competition. Gairbeg works non-stop, literally. And now he's even reached the point where he's taking down freestyle wrestlers, and he doesn't fall short anywhere. His recent matches at UWW events and the Russian Nationals prove he's become a complete, well-rounded athlete. Is there anything you'd say he needs to work on now, right after the competition? Is there anything that caught your eye? It was hard to assess his standing game skills lately because it was clear he wasn't at his wrestling peak. That was due to injuries. He had a sprained ankle and couldn't really work from the top positions or even move properly on his feet. Our plan was actually to start back slowly with morning sessions. You know, do these circuit drills 2 or 3 times a week, with lots of standing work and a lot of guard passing. I think that's what we need to focus on now, because he'll have to wrestle in the stand-up either way. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Barakat to every person here. Once again, thanks to Muhammad for organizing this incredible event, and to Czar. He's one of my coaches who's come to support me today. Believe me, he's an amazing coach. He analyzes your work, trains with you, guides you, corrects you, and shows you the way. It also means a lot that my father's here. This is the second time he's attended my competition. The last time was right here in this arena during the European Championship. I'm glad I was able to repeat that success in front of my father. And in the end, I want to say, Alhamdulillah. May Allah protect us from all harm and guide us on the right path. Barakallah to everyone, and my coaches. About Gairbeg, you've changed, had a bit of a rest, received all the laurels and congratulations. We won't take up too much of your time today. Your matches were really intense, and I understand that you're tired and need some rest. But please, tell us, how do you feel? To be honest, I couldn't really show my full potential and grapple the way I wanted to. My close friends were in the stands, guys I've known since school, since kindergarten. They came here just for me, and my father was also there. So I couldn't really open up and grapple just for fun. I aimed at the result. I couldn't even allow the slightest possibility of disappointing them. I noticed some technical aspects. You landed 2 Russian tie throws. You had great escapes and back scrambles. Are these new in your arsenal? Sometimes the rules force you to work in a certain style, as you can't afford to stay on the bottom. You create a little bit of space, make it look like now your opponent can straighten and take a back mount. They bite on it, and that's when you counter. Yeah, I remember how you and Joseph were constantly working on that at the Bali camp, escaping back control in turn. With Joseph, I used to wonder why I kept ending up taking his back, but eventually I realized he was giving it to me intentionally, then escaping perfectly. I never managed to fully secure the position, locking in my hooks properly before he'd shake me off. So that kind of practice lets you work calmly in high-pressure situations because you know you've drilled it all during training. We wish good luck to Gairbeg. He qualified for the ADCC World Championship. It's been a long time since anyone from our republic or even from Russia has done it. He has every chance to win. So just watch him in August. I'm sure, inshallah, he will at least be in the top 3, and at best, he will win it all. You became the first at the European trials. Is there a story behind that? That was 2018, my first trip to Abu Dhabi. I had 6 matches there, and in the end, I didn't place. Yeah, I lost. After the tournament, I went back to the hotel, cut some weight, and then had an early flight out of Dubai at around 3 a.m. to Moscow. In Moscow, I had to go from one airport to another to catch another flight to Warsaw, and I arrived there late at night. All of this happened within 24 hours, so I landed in Warsaw at 2 a.m. The thing is, I was to compete that same morning, and just the day before I was competing in Abu Dhabi. I laid down on a couch in the airport and slept for maybe 2 hours. I could barely fall asleep because I was worried that if I fell asleep too deeply, I'd miss the weigh-ins. I got there, stepped on the scale, and I was 600 grams over. So I had to cut that. I was focused, I was ready to go all out, and I did. But even today, I still can't really understand why I lost. I remember I was at the bottom. I hit a sweep, took the back, and then he shook me off. As far as I know the rules, if the guy's turtling and you're choking him, controlling the back, and he shakes you off, it shouldn't be a scoring move. I tried to explain it to them, but they didn't really get it. In the end, I lost, with all these hardships, the weight cut, the lack of sleep, the crazy travel. But after competing there, I realized one thing. I can make it. That's it. I came back home with the mindset that I would return and win. The second time I went with Czar, my coach. We were going to compete in the same weight division, so what? 4 days prior, I was competing at the Russian Cup. Then I fell sick with a fever, and I also had knee bursitis that I'd been dealing with for 3 months. It would come and go again and again. I did joint aspiration, cut weight, drained the knee, cut weight again, and with that knee, I went to compete. I was on the mats for over an hour in total, I think. In the final match, I just think my gas tank ran out. Moreover, they gave some points to my opponent which I think were questionable. But there was no way to appeal it, so I ended up 1 step away from first place. And again, I told myself that I would come back here, and this year I did. I was preparing, but then again I got sick. A fever at the prep, a fever right before the trip, and on the day of competition. And also, my shin was all swollen. But during the first and second time I competed there, I understood that I was capable of making it. I convinced myself that they weren't better than me. Yes, many factors influenced the result, but in the end, I got what I came for. If you add up all 3 qualifying events, each had its own difficulties. So I'd like to tell the young guys who are always looking for perfect conditions and so on, if you want the result, be ready for hardships. I'd like to say that you need to strive to work harder than others. There have been a lot of champions from Dagestan, a lot of ADCC trials winners and competitors, so Gairbeg isn't a pioneer here. Guys have already competed at the Worlds. They've competed at the trials. You've literally won the trials. Tell us about the achievements from the guys from Dagestan. First of all, tell us who won the trials. The first trials were won by Abdul Qadirov. He qualified for the one in Brazil. In Rio. Also, there was Sergey, and he won those trials too. Asaduliev? Yes, Sergey Asaduliev. They both competed at that time, at 77 and 66. Abdul Kadirov performed well. I believe he won his first match against Benson Henderson. Yeah, you could say he gave him a hard time. He also put up a great fight against Rafael Lovato Jr. Lost to Gilbert Burns, though. Right, Gilbert Burns. It was a close match. It was a really close match. At the end, they decided to take away 2 points. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if removing those 2 points was correct under the rules. I'm not judging that now, but they couldn't even figure it out themselves. You know, someone just came on the mats, talked to someone else, and just like that, the points were gone. 2 points, just like that. A similar thing happened to Gairbeg back in 2017. That year, the ADCC final was held in Finland, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Finland. Definitely Finland. The trials were in Poland. Ruslan Abduliev won there, and Bilarov, yes. I don't remember which year it was, but there was another athlete from Russia. Timur Muhammadulin. He became the second at the trials. So in the 2017 final, our guys competed there in Finland. Ruslan lost in overtime. And Bilarov won, I think. Yeah, he beat Shields. Then he lost to Felipe Pena later. Pena ended up winning the absolute division, but Bilarov was going toe-to-toe with him. They had a back-and-forth battle. Neither really gained a clear advantage. But as for Ruslan, he just gassed out. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because previously he had a draw with one guy who was up to wrestling. So they spent a lot of time in the stand-up. So he got exhausted. Yeah, he got tired, maybe because of that. After that, it happens that no one from Dagestan besides me went to qualify for ADCC 2019. However, at the 2018 trials, there were many more guys from other parts of Russia. Again, there was Timur Muhammadulin. Shamsusim Magomedov also competed. Then there was Magomed Matiev. So only Muhammadulin and I made it to the finals. Shams would have as well, but he lost to me. Maybe he could have done well there too, who knows. At that time, we qualified for ADC 2019 in the US. In the US? Okay. That was actually the problem. That's why I couldn't go. So you didn't go because of the visa? I didn't. I couldn't get the visa. I applied twice early in 2019, and then again later. First, I went to Tbilisi, Georgia to try applying there. The second time, I tried it here. What do you think are Gairbeg's chances at ADCC? I'd say he's got a 70 to 80% chance of making it to the top 3. Well, a lot depends on the judges. Their decisions play a huge role. It's easy to get scored unfairly. They might easily give 2 points or none at all. Gairbeg has a real shot, but it all comes down to the shape he'll bring to the mat. And to the judging most of all. As a coach, you've been observing the collaboration between Al Leon and the athlete whose ambassador that we're supporting. Tell us, is this important? Does this support the brand is providing matter? It's a huge deal, and I think it really has a positive impact. There have already been several major competitions where he didn't have to worry about travel expenses. Without thinking whether it was worth going and spending money. He just had to sign up, that's all. And that's so important for an athlete. I hope Gairbeg can make it to the competition without any injuries, mentally strong, and without any distractions or extra stress. Because we know it's tough either way. The entire country, the whole republic, his family, everyone's waiting. And people keep asking, when? The biggest challenge, I think, is staying cool and focused. But once he's there, everything will be okay. I know he won't hold back. He'll do everything possible. And may Allah help him. And that's what matters most. Gairbeg, let's go, kid. Push hard. We've got your back. I wish my coach, Gairbeg Ibragimov, the best of luck to win there. And I wish more athletes from Russia can qualify, get their visas, and have the chance to win this tournament. We're so happy, I don't even know how to describe it. For me, this was a huge moment when you came here, especially for our athlete, for our boy. The respect and support he gets means so much to me, and your visit today will stay with me for the rest of my life. He's achieved so much in this sport and in life overall. So I want him not to stop at what he's already obtained. Gairbeg, I wish you don't stop. Only go forward and win this world championship. We're all behind you, supporting you with all our hearts. We'll pray for you to win. This means a lot to us, to our club, to Dagestan, and to the whole of Russia. We all need that victory. It's a huge moment, but I believe you can do it. No doubt. I hope everything goes as planned. Good luck. May the stars align, and may it be destined by Allah. We'll pray that He grants you this victory.